Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. All right, so first of all, apologies for that slight delay there. I was just saying to the folks that I just had to do a quick computer restart, clear some kind of like files and stuff, because we were getting a little bit of a lag. So I just said, look, folks, talk amongst yourselves, and they were going like a gale force wind behind scenes.
Talking about Sicily.
Oh, I have to hook you up with Sally. You can stay. I know she will let you stay there. Anyways, go ahead.
Planning our next vacations.
Right. Wonderful. So oh indeed, so that's what they were discussing. So apologies in advance if there's a little bit of a lag. It usually settles down, particularly when the energy is high, and yeah, it's just one of these things. What did someone say here? Okay, someone say please don't comment on clothing. Oh, anyway, right, so I've got all of the questions here written out. We're doing our usual one card pulls, but we're also going to be doing 2 full card pulls, which is a bit more unusual. I just want to say thank you to, of course, to all my guests tonight. Of course, we have Sheila, we have the return, of course, of David. So nice to see you back, and of course, Lena down under. First one here is not actually a question, it's just a little shout out here from Texas Sanders. And she says, I love David. I follow his channel. I know he'll have a lot to contribute to the group tonight. This is a great lineup. Looking forward to it. So I just wanted to shout that out. You're getting some praise and love in the comments, David.
You know, Gary and I used to tease that.
Someone says, get your crystals out and get ready.
They're all back in the cabinet over here. Gary and I, my brother and I used to tease that if we ever got trolled, it was our mother trolling us. And then when you get the really wonderful
and
comments,
you know
like,
what? She still might.
And she might. We had so many lights flickering in this office right after she passed.
Yeah.
So she's messing with the lights over here.
And it just says here, prayers for Linda G.
Sure
she's had a hard time. If you could let us know in the comments what's happening with Linda G.
I think I sent that to you guys on WhatsApp.
That's a really...
There's the information about that, but there's an update.
Indeed.
She came home. She's in the hotel. She's actually, I think, is in Canada, but so far the reports are that she's doing better.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's good to know. And I was actually just about to mention that. So yes, definitely some thoughts and prayers to Linda G. If you're watching, I hope you're going to get well soon. I understand Sheila shared with us that she fainted at one of the events that she was attending, and so I hope Linda, that you're feeling a lot better. So our thoughts and prayers are with you as well. Also, as well, just to announce. Someone E. Holmes was also talking about Venezuela, and was basically saying if Venezuela could be in our thoughts and prayers. But what I will also add as well, what I did last week, I have added the link to the video description for the GoFundMe. Yeah, the GoFundMe for Venezuela. I think it's raised over $6 million now. I think it's $6 million. So, of course, prayers and stuff like that are wonderful, but donations are even better, because then this GoFundMe. Now, many of you know I've got a dear friend called Neliana, who is Venezuelan. She's been keeping me up to date on everything that is going on there. And this GoFundMe, it's not going to be used. It can't be used by the very corrupt government. So it is actually going to be used for things for getting people out of buildings and all of that stuff. So I would say that would be even more effective. If you can spare some money, then please consider donating to that GoFundMe, linked in the video description below. Right. Okay. Shall we dive into the show then, folks?
Yes.
All right. So as usual, we'll go clockwise. So we'll be starting with Sheila. And the first question, let's just see where I am. So that was the shout out. So the first question is actually numbered as number 3, but anyway. And this is actually a bit of a, UK one, but we're actually going to focus on the heat. So anyway, so Manuela Orchid, thank you so much for your question. She said, dear Hoagie and Tarot Twinkle Stars. Yeah, she says, my question today would be, if the next voted party in UK will finally bring back economy and good support for the English taxpayers, like good functioning healthcare systems and all, not like waiting half a year for an appointment at the doctor's like our grandmothers had to. Thanks for reading. Much love, Manuela. And the heat wave is returning in Munich in the next days. Is it for the UK too? So what I would say is, in terms of the first part, we won't necessarily read on that. Maybe on a Friday fry up where it's more specific. I can focus more on UK stuff there. It depends on Andy Burnham, who is likely to become the new leader of the Labour Party, thus the next PM of the UK, and he's talking about devolution, separating stuff out to the different regions. But I think one of the things that will be important to read on would be this climate change and these heat waves, these extraordinary waves that we've been having. And in fact, I had to restart my computers. Let me just see. Are the heat waves coming back was something that I searched before, but I had to restart my computer. And then let's just see here. So I'm just going to share. Oh, what am I doing? 1 minute. Let me just share my screen just to read out a bit for you. Let me just get this here. So can you folks see this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So another heat wave could be on the way. So temperatures have fallen from the record-breaking highs seen across the UK last week, but there are signs another heat wave could be building as July begins. So some forecasts suggest temperatures could climb back to the low mid-30s in England and Wales next week. However, there is still uncertainty about how hot things may get. Anyway, so that's potentially coming back, all of this stuff here. But I just wanted to show you guys, can you see the temperatures here in Europe? Can you guys see this? Yeah?
Yeah.
So you can see here, Denmark, 37 degrees. Poland, 40 plus degrees. What do we have here? Germany as well, Czech Republic, 41. Hungary, as you can see, all of these ones here. So reason what I'm doing, let me just do stop share. I think this is a major feature going forward. Yeah, I think it's a major feature going forward. So I thought, let's read on this. Let's read on this, all of this heat, and we'll do one card pulls of how things will change in Europe due to the heat. I just want to see what the cards bring up. Sheila going first, David, Lena, and then me. One card pull. Okay. It's going to change in Europe due to the heat. And if any of us get the sun card, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? All right. So after three. Exactly, after three. 1, 2, 3. Sheila, what do you have?
I gotta find my camera first. There it is. It says on there, losing yourself. And it says you feel lost in your partner, like you feel lost in the world. And I had to look up on ChatGPT, of course. Long story. But 41.8 is 107 Fahrenheit for those who do not know Celsius. That's extreme for you guys. That is really extreme. And as you can see the picture on here, it's like the sweltering, hot, humid, you know, that picture. So I have a feeling that we may be in for a lot. And my feeling on the weather right now, have you ever just felt like the weather's out of control? That's what it feels like to me, especially here in Colorado. It just feels out of control. Like there's nothing we can do anymore. That's bad news, but that's kind of how I feel. All right, that's what I got.
Yeah, really good point. Thanks for that, Sheila. David, how do you interpret your card?
I get this as an economic and health slowdown. As these temperatures rise, and if they stay elevated, you might get instances where people are told to stay home, don't be on the roadways, don't be out, no shelter in place. And then, if they're sheltering in place, they're not going out, they're not purchasing things. It's almost like we're in this topsy-turvy type of setting with the earth, and we need to settle down. And by people settling down, they're lowering their temperature because they're not moving as much. The economy slows down. And I think as things slow down, the temperature starts spiraling back downwards, but it's going to be a slow process.
Wow. Yeah, very good point. Lena, how do you interpret your cards?
Well, I got the 5 of Wands, people arguing pointlessly. I would suggest this is about what do we do about this, right? From a government point of view. And what's obvious is we've lost 40 years. We should all have gone to sustainable things then, which would have kept the overall temperature down. But also we would have ironed out the problems with alternative energy. Whereas now they're saying, oh, it's too expensive to do this. It's too expensive. But to David's point, it's more expensive not to do it. Hello, these things circle round. We have to act globally. No point Norway doing the right thing, Big wake-up call.
Yeah. Indeed. And then, so if we look here, I've got the Hermit card here. Got the Hermit card. So this is a time where I think that this is part of the waking up process for all of humanity. And it is also the waking up process as well in Europe. Not that we've been skeptical about climate change. In many ways, Europe has actually done quite a lot to talk about climate change and potentially come up with solutions. But I think this is a time of really, ironically, but really kind of going within. And I think this is also going to have economic repercussions as well, because it's getting so hot, people are having to stay inside. Like, and they're going to have to stay inside with their aircon and all of this stuff. So just to give you guys a little insight, in London, when we got close to 40 degrees, when the first or the second heat wave struck, it was so hot outside that nobody was there. The streets were actually empty. I actually spoke to my local ice cream parlor guy, and everyone was saying to him, "Oh, mate, you must have been busy today. You must have made a killing." And he said, "No, it was too hot. Nobody could actually go outside because it was too hot." So I think what we're seeing is I see mainland Europe, including the UK, becoming like Spain, where we're going to have to take a siesta, and it's going to change the economy, because already we've got schools shutting down. Some people I spoke to, they couldn't even go to work because work didn't have aircon. So I think this is also going to have this economic impact as well, because we're literally going to have to stay indoors. There are a lot of fair-skinned people in Europe, as you can imagine, and that their protection is going to have to be to what? Stay in the sun. I mean, obviously, Lena, you of course have that lovely fair Irish skin, and of course
yes,
Sheila,
and maybe
David, you as well.
I grew up in these temperatures we're talking about with this Irish skin, which is why I spend half my time having skin cancers cut out. No one's talking about that, just not designed for it. But I think the worst thing that could happen is more people in Europe think, oh, I need aircon, and consume more power without dealing with the issue. That is one of my fears. but we have a global responsibility, and it has to be global. A commitment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up, Lena.
I agree. I agree. By the way, I do have a little bit of aircon coming, but mine is low energy consumption. Yeah. All these ads have been on YouTube, obviously for air fans and stuff like that, because they know us Brits are absolutely sweating bricks right now because of the heat. But these are these low energy ones. But yeah, we are going to need, we're going to have to change our architecture as well to a bit more like Spain and places like Africa and stuff like that, that get sustained heat. All right. So thanks so much for that, folks. Let's go on to the next question. Now, this next one says, this one's about Todd Blanche. Yeah. So we're going clockwise. So David, you're going to be starting on this one. This is going to be our first full card pull of the night, because I think this merits a full card pull. Coming from Denise Ferguson. So thank you, Denise, so much for your question. So she says here, July 15th is the confirmation hearing for Orange Caligula's AG nominee, Todd Blanche. Blanche has failed to release the Epstein files, filed charges against Duck's enemies, created January 6 slush fund, and the list goes on. For the first time in history, 101 federal judges have come together calling for an ethics investigation into Blanche's conduct. That's an astonishing number. With everything Blanche has done to undermine the rule of law and politicize the DOJ, will Republicans still confirm him? Full card pull, because I want the full colors on this one, because it's a big question.
Yes. While we're shuffling, I'll just share a few economy measures when you don't have aircon in a hot climate. And we used to have wet towels. So to get in a car, which was boiling, you'd have a wet towel on the seat, another one over the steering wheel till it cooled down. The babies, you'd have wet towels over their cots.
Wow.
Irish air conditioning.
I had to do that Irish air conditioning. I remember when we had the first major heat wave in 2022 in the UK, and I kid you not, it was so hot. A little hamlet in the south of England spontaneously combusted. 10 houses just caught fire on their own. I mean, it was just astonishing. It really was something. It wasn't prepared this year. All right. Todd Blanche, confirmation.
Here we go.
Todd Blanche, confirmation. Oh, I think it's this one. Let's take a look. Let's hope it's not a horror show. Oh, right. Okay, David, are you ready to go? What cards do you have? I am ready to go. Card pull.
Okay, foundation of the reading. I get the Lover's card. This is really, and central underneath is the Ace of Swords, clarifying with the Two of Cups and the Nine of Wands. To me, this is the opportunity where Congress really could stand up and say, the Attorney General is the general of the people. They really have that opportunity.
Yeah.
I think, though, that they're going to give Dear Leaders AG one more chance, and they are going to look over their shoulder and say, I hope we didn't screw up. Because to me, this is the Susan Collins card of, well, he said he was going to follow the law, and I have to trust him. They have the opportunity to really send a strong message not to do this. But right now, with this Congress, I think they're just going to bend over and fall apart. I have no faith.
Oh, crikey. Yeah, I think you've got a good point there. Lena, thanks so much, David. Lena, what do you have?
Well, I think they're going to tie themselves in knots. How to justify this? Because they're in service to the money classes, and Todd Blanche becomes part of the whole institution of this corrupt White House. They're playing fast and loose with people, legality, morality. You know, they will try and justify it. But look at this. I think they'll confirm him too, but it's going to be a bed of nails for them.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. My goodness. Oh, we do live in extraordinary times, folks. Yeah, just remember that. We really are in times of history. What was that famous saying, Lena? I think it was a communist, I can't remember, but he said, there are some years that go by where nothing happens. And then there are some days that go by where years happen. We are in the time of where days become years. It's just extraordinary. All right, so my first card out. Look at that. I get the same card, exact same card as David here. So look, I think this is Todd Blanche. Yeah, having to. I don't think it's going to go as smoothly as he would like. Yeah, right. The Nine of Wands talks about a person feeling embattled, but they're shrewd. They're also using their cunning. I think he's going to have to do a bit of gymnastics and a bit of navigating, and probably having to deal with some awkward questions. But this is a card of determination, so I'm like, he might hang in there. However, the next card I get is the Tower card. So there could be a surprise. Something weird may happen, or someone may say something shocking. It could be Todd Blanche that says something shocking, or someone else says something shocking, or maybe is there some kind of unexpected protest. But there's an element of wild card here, so I'm not expecting it to go completely to plan, with that Tower card. If we look here, we've got the next card out is the Four of Cups, and we know that this is a card of what? Cogitation, deliberation, thinking about things, but not really liking the options on the table. I think this is also talking about the Republicans. They know that they are deeply unpopular at the moment. They know that this guy and everyone else is deeply corrupt, but can they take the kind of option coming out of the cloud? Can they turn left rather than just going with everything? We'll have to see. However, we do have the Knight of Swords here. Now, this is about rushing forward with aggression, with energy. I think if he is confirmed, I think the reaction is going to be strong. This could be Democrats, this could be independents, but there's going to be a strong reaction either way. But if he's confirmed, I think some people may go full gangbusters on this. And when you think of the energy of the Tower, this could be something quite radical. But ultimately, I feel like the Republicans, they're obsessed with their own security here with the Queen of Pentacles. They want to just feel secure. I think they're more interested in their own jobs rather than the electorate. So I'm going to say, I think they might go with the status quo, but I think he's going to have a bit of a tough time. But there is a certain factor that could be strange or unusual. Yeah. So that's my take. Sheila, what do you have?
Well, going last, I can just go like every single one of you guys, like, yep, because my cards talk about everything you guys just kind of brought up. My first card up was the Queen of Wands. And then I did a clarifier with the Queen of Wands as unmasking the truth. So here's something that I have watched in the Senate for a very, very long time, and it kind of irritates me. where they have a Republican nominee sitting there, and the Democrats just go hog wild and exposure, 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 exposure. But what happens with the Republicans is they bring that back like he's a victim. They did it to almost every single one of the things. So they have here, it's like, we will come and rescue you. We won't let them treat you bad. And they face your inner demons. Yeah, he did bad stuff, but doesn't it mean he can't be a candidate? You know what I mean? They literally like pile in behind their nominee and just glorify him as they watch the Democrats just hurt his heart. And this is exactly where they have their opportunity to create no more boundaries. That's what their whole process is they want to go further and farther with no more boundaries, no more, nothing's going to hold them down. Because at the end of the day, they are in an affair with the crimes. They are it's like, even if they are not the ones that have committed the crimes, they have also protected Trump, who is the criminal. Therefore, they are all together, and they're just, they're just going to give too much again. They're going to give too much again. And I truly believe that they're going to let him go through. And your tower moment is where they bring down the boundaries. I also got the King of Swords, where they go in with bravery, like, oh my gosh, why are the Democrats so mean to this guy? There's no way that he's done all of that. And I wish the Democrats would just shut up, to be honest with you. Don't even show up. Let the Republicans he's going to go in anyway. They don't need a conversation. They don't need to show up and point out how bad he is. We already know. Let the Republicans just flail. That's what I think. But anyways, that's what I got.
Now, Hoagie, there's been a request. There's a request for Shakespeare on Todd Blanche.
Ooh.
Yes, you got it.
Indeed. And you guys read my mind. I don't know if you can see, but you see, I've already written in advance. Shakespeare. So, and of course, David is our special guest this evening. So, David, you know the procedure. I will flick through the book, and wherever you tell me to stop, this will be the Bard's opinion on Todd Blanche. I don't think we've done Todd Blanche before, so let's just see what happens here.
And right there.
Oh, how interesting.
I always get the spicy ones.
Well, look at this. All right, so this is coming from Troilus and Cressida. And then so the Bard says, the plague of Greece upon thee, thou mongrel beef-witted lord.
Oh no, hold it. You have to say that again. There was a bit of an echo.
Sorry. So the Bard says of Todd Blanche, the plague of Greece upon thee, thou mongrel beef-witted lord. Yeah. So I think the plague of Greece, I think maybe another word for for a certain venereal disease. Let's just put it. And then on the other page, the plague. When it says the plague of Greece upon thee, I think it means something that is anyway. And then on the next page, this is from the Merchant of Venice. It says, a false and dull-eyed fool.
Well,
a false and dull-eyed fool. That's precisely
he is dull.
What he is.
He's
just
dull.
a lackey.
He's
just a lackey. But you know, there you are.
Yeah.
There you are. The Bard never fails. The
Bard
never
rocks.
fails. All right, let's indeed. So let's hop in. In fact, let me just bring some people in from the chat. Someone said little updates here. Marcus Bros said, Linda's daughter Nicole texted my wife this morning, and she's back in the hotel. Okay, so that's good to know. Baden says, we're with you, Venezuela. Of course. So again, remember, go to the video description and you'll see the donation, the link to the donation page there. Someone's saying, Taurus is saying, everyone is losing things here. Mercury retrograde. Not quite yet, I don't think. I can quickly check my software, but someone was asking, when does it end? So Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year, folks, and about 3 weeks and loose change each time. And then someone here is saying as well, Leaf Dance says, love and healing energy to Linda. Absolutely, absolutely. And then someone's also said here, Marianne says, 4 of my favorite people. Thank you, Hoagie, Lena, Sheila, and David. That's so kind. Okay, let's get to the next question. So I think this time, is it Lena? You're going first this time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be. So this is actually, I'm a little bit discombobulated because I normally number the questions, but we had a couple that weren't. Anyway, so Just Living My Life has asked, there is a political, social, and environmental shift going on. Will we learn our lessons or end? Oh, actually, was that going to be the one? Wait a minute, I think I was going to ask something else. Here. Oh, actually, no, I'll carry on now that I've read it. This one here just becomes number 6, and that becomes number 7. Apologies, I'll start again. There is a political, social, and environmental shift going on. Will we all learn our lessons or end up repeating negative patterns in the future by voting against our interests? So this one, full card pull again. Yeah.
All right.
And you're going first.
Did you say this is a 1 card or a full card?
Full.
Full card. So again, Just Living My Life is the person asking. There is a political, social, and environmental shift going on. Will we all learn our lessons or end up repeating negative patterns in the future by voting against our interests? How people learn their lessons? People learn their lessons. How people learn their lessons.
Well, it must be a big question because I've got all majors.
Wow. I've got a couple of majors as well.
Like, Hoagie.
Yeah, you ready, Lena? Let rip. Go for it.
I can't believe it. 5 cards, 5 majors. Okay, so it starts with the Hermit, which is investigating. I mean, that's why the question begins, that we need to ask these questions and we need to investigate the answers properly and take it from there until we have the courage collectively to really do this deep probing and look at ourselves individually and the collective. We cannot emerge from this time. We need to do this process. However, when Duc L'Orange does fade from the stage in whatever context, and that could be as simple as he's not turning up anywhere anymore, like he's virtually slithering out the side door. When that happens, that opens the door symbolically for, we all need to channel our inner magician here. We need to manifest change, adapt what we've got to survive. We need to transform how we think. All of it. It's a job lot. We can't tinker around the edges anymore and hope for an outcome that is good for the world. We can't. We have to It's a root and branch thing. There will be some delays as the less enlightened catch up with the enlightened, but this is happening. We've all commented in our various ways. Things are changing. People are getting another perspective. And eventually, yes. Eventually, yes. But I wouldn't say it'll be like next June. You know, we've got to start this process and keep at it. That's me.
Yeah, yes, very good. Thank you, Lena. All right, with my cards, like, will people wake up? Will people learn their lessons? And I feel like my cards are talking about, and it actually feeds into what going to be one of the later questions. But anyway, when we look here, so my first card out of the pack is the Six of Pentacles. People are waking up. Why? Because they're running out of money. Yeah, people are running out of money. The economy is not working. Here you see that there's the wealthy merchant here handing out the crumbs. Yeah, so now we're having talk about what potentially universal income. Yeah, because of the effects of AI, you know, people losing their jobs, etc. A lot of people are realizing that the economy is not working for them. They see the rich getting richer and they're just here begging for the crumbs. Yeah. So this is doing something to wake a lot of people up, because the economic consequences and ramifications, particularly of Trump being in power, it's not only affecting America, it's affecting the whole globe, all of these supply chains, everything. So this is also part of the waking up process. Yeah. Whereas this vote has affected the whole world, not just Americans, but the whole world. Huge consequences. But I think part of this waking up is this desperation here, as people are really struggling. Just in case you weren't sure, the next card that comes out is the Three of Swords. People are feeling what? Heartbroken, crestfallen. I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of MAGA regret online as well. Yeah, a lot of people, because why? They feel the pain. The Three of Swords can also talk about not only emotional distress, but also a sense of betrayal. Yeah, a sense of betrayal. Even within people within their families. So many of my clients talk to me about difficult conversations they've had with their family members or friends that they've had to leave behind. So this in particular is very, very painful for people, not only economically, but also emotionally, because of the cost to their relationships. Just in case we weren't sure, look who's in the middle of it. Yeah, we have the star here, Duck L'Orange, you know, one of my cards for Duck L'Orange. And you can see here, but this is also, the star can also talk about rebirth. Yeah. But this actually leads into one of what's going to be one of the last questions of the show, which is part of what are we learning, via this Trump administration. But here, taking this in the political stance, this has become one of my cards for Duck L'Orange, who is here at the center of it. I also call this the card of what? Lights, camera, action. The shadow being like this narcissistic energy. People are learning what happens when you vote for a malignant narcissist. It's just not good. It's just not good. Here, though, next we have the Fool card. It's going to require a leap of faith. I think things are getting so extreme that people are like, you know what? I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. I think I'm just going to exit stage. I'm going to literally just walk out and leave it all behind. I've seen so many YouTubes from people saying, you know what? I'm buying a truck. I'm going to live in my car. I'm going to go to the woods. There are a lot of people that are just like, we need a complete and brand new start. So this can also mean politically, but there are going to be some people that will just leave everything behind. That's one of the things that I'm seeing. Then the next card I get that comes out is the Eight of Wands, which is the card of what? Things speeding up. The wands I do associate also as well with business, but you notice things flying here through the air. Sadly, this can also mean missiles and stuff. I think this has a lot to do with the conflict, of course, in Iran. So I pulled some clarifiers. Longer reading from me here. What do we have? We got the King of Wands. So again, this is about business. This is about entrepreneurship. I think we need to conduct business differently. It can't just be profit, 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 profit. Profits before people. That needs to change. We then have the Nine of Cups, which is the card which is normally the smug merchant, yeah, and which also talks about business. So yeah, we need to find different ways to satisfy each other, satisfy ourselves, not all of this consumerism all the time. And just in case we weren't sure, look what comes back. The Star also returns as well. But I think in this context, this is about finding the star within ourselves, building that renewal from within, being our own guiding light and not relying on the narcissists to tell us what to do. So I think this is to do with our own inner journey and progress. And I think that is what's going to emerge after all of this. Sheila, what do you have?
Well, all right. So mine kind of differs from everybody's, but kind of the same. But here we go. My first step was the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands, as we were looking for the future, and I got spiritual awakening with that. But what came to mind is there was enough of us that we were looking for a spiritual awakening. We were, we are trying to go forward and get out of this. However, the second one was the Tower. I brought the Tower and emotional release. Things keep on reminding me. I don't know why, but it kind of brings me back to Alcoholics Anonymous program. If anybody knows anything about that, you have to hit rock bottom before we can build and come back up, is what Alcoholics Anonymous has in their program. And that's kind of how it is. We have to have a tower moment. We have to break this all down and have an emotional release and get this all out. Now, here we got the Four of Swords with having courage. The Four of Swords is that courage to recover. The Four of Swords is, that meditation, recovery from conflict or illness. Do we have the courage to rebuild? Do we have the courage to recover? And all of a sudden, my cards went right to a split. There's a splinter happening. There is the Eight of Cups. Well, we are going to walk away. We are going to leave the past behind. We're going to walk to new waters. But we have some that are just going to close their mind. So we have a splinter of people happening. The ones that are going to go there and the ones that are just not. They're just going to shut it all down. And here's what my cards also said at the end. I asked, what are the dangers for both sides? What is going to happen if we go too far as humans as we do? The ones who are seeking enlightenment and awakeness, we have to be really, really cautious of seeking perfection. Now, we got to allow a little wiggle room. We have to allow us to make mistakes as we go forward, as we get into the world, the new world. And the ones that are not going to go, the splintered, there's gonna be a fear of touch. They're going to be untouchable if they don't start awakening themselves. So those are the two little bottoms. So it's like I have been kind of talking about this for actually kind of quite a while. Is there's a splinter of humans, there's a splinter of human beings that are happening right now, and which side are you going to be on? Is what I ask. So that's what I got.
Thank you. Thanks for that reading. And just to add to that, absolutely, this is the time, folks. Like. Many of you guys watching will watch all of the other kind of channels as well, particularly, those psychic channels, they get the readers coming in and saying, I died and what's coming from the future. I'm sure we've all seen those. But there is a consistency there, isn't it? Which is, and I've been seeing it astrologically where I was referring to it as the bifurcation of the waters. And like many of you will have heard, of course, of like Dolores Cannon and stuff like that. And she said the two earths splitting, etc. And I've commented on that. And I said, I don't think it's going to be quite that literal. But I think it's to do with the vibration and the mentality and the emotionality of people. Like I've said before, there are some people, particularly those that are still in the Trump bandwagon, they may as well be on another planet because their whole paradigm is completely different, and they may look at us and think we're crazy, Yeah. And we look at them and go, well, you're crazy. Yeah. And it just seems to keep going further and further. But I think we're in a time now where everything is just speeding up and splitting up. And I think it's all based on our vibration, our energy. Are you resonating with love? Do you resonate with empathy? Do you want to see good happen into the world? Do you want the best for Gaia and our fellow humans, human beings? Or do we want to keep going down this road of hate, etc., all of this stuff here? Just to quickly add a little extra note here. Karen says 38 Celsius, 100 Fahrenheit today in Toronto. With humidity, it was 45. I was helping my daughter's partner clean his new purchased home with no AC. It was hot. My God, you must have lost about 2 inches off your waist doing all of that. And then tourists says, yeah, you need to lose weight, by the way. I'm just saying, just from the sweating, God, that could have come out the wrong way. Anyway, Taurus says the billionaire arsehole club needs to be ousted. Absolutely. It's remarkable. So did we all read?
No, David's got to go. Yeah.
David, that's it. I thought I had to check. Thank you for being so patient there, David. What cards do you have?
Worries. Okay, so I start off with the Star card with the Four of Wands underneath it. So to me, what it's happening is whether you want to do this or not, the time has arrived. And you know how the Star card has the water pouring back into the pool and some is pouring onto the grass. I think the majority of the people are going to join the collective and get on board with this, but you're always going to have some group of people that just steadfast refuse to live in the reality that the rest of us live in, touching on your point about there being like 2 different realities. Center underneath it I have is the Three of Swords. To me, this represents 30 years of wasted time. I remember in the mid-90s going to see James Burke talking at UC Berkeley about climate change and the urgency with which he was suggesting 30 years ago that we needed to get on this. This is the oil companies and special interest groups that make money and keep people fearful of climate change. And just, it's been wasted time. And there will still people, not everyone is going to jump on board with this. They will have their reasons. However, 3 of Cups, 2 of Cups, so many people are going to get on and get on board and start cooperating. And then you're going to start getting brilliant inventions and ideas coming forward that will embrace the environment as well as providing jobs and providing income. The whole thing that we've got going on with the strait and gas prices in the United States, almost approaching, but about half of what they pay in Europe, is shocking. And it's like, you know, EV sales have started to stabilize in the United States because it doesn't cost any more or less to charge the EV on February 27th and July 1st. But these guys in their trucks are paying probably paying about twice as much as they were before. So you can start to see well, maybe I can do a little bit. And sometimes that's all we can expect out of them. It's just a little push. But if everybody pushes a little, the whole collective starts moving that way. And eventually, the people that are the scaredest, they're going to age out. And it's the young people coming in that are going to be having to face the problems, and they're going to be much more willing to embrace it and see what they can do to help things out.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, really good point. What's that? Sander says so much blame goes to MSM and especially Fox. Yeah, legacy media has a lot to answer for, particularly for perpetrating so much of this. And it's just extraordinary. Raymond says one may smile and be a villain. Shakespeare, yes, indeed. And then Claire says, tell the truth with love, lit by rage. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, right.
Love lit by rage. Yeah, that's a very good one. I'll remember that. We really are in quite extraordinary times. I was actually going to read this question before, but I think it's before the one that we just did. But I feel like the question we just did, in a way, segues into this. All right, so this is coming from Barbara Almeida. Almeida. Oh, I always get her last name wrong. Sorry, Barbara. Anyway, hi Hogarth and everyone. My one question for tonight is, will Democratic Socialists be able to win over the people of the United States? Something has to change in the United States, she says, with 4 exclamation marks. Yeah, understandable. Thank you. She says here, I'm hoping that people will research and see the difference between communism and democratic socialism. And what I'll quickly add to that is, I want to give a shout out to Elaine, you know who you are, my client today, for her fascinating insights. And because she's fighting for the Dems in the crucible of change. So I want to say, Elaine, thank you so much for a fascinating conversation, with her work being one of the main campaigners for the Democratic Party. Oh, what's happened here with Sheila?
She'll be back.
She'll be back. As they, live TV, folks, as they say, the show must go on. So let's do a 1-card pull on this. So basically, can Democratic Socialists win America's heart? Yeah, and I think it's me going first, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Can win America's heart.
Oh, look at that. Look, my card just leapt out. I'll just take that.
I had 2 leap out.
Just leapt out. Let's see. Oh, she's back. She's back.
Hi.
All right, we've changed position. We changed position.
Yes.
Let's see. I didn't touch anything
else.
You're first.
What's the question that we have?
So
the question is, oh yeah, go on. It would be, will Democratic Socialists win America's heart? Yeah, will the Democratic Socialists be able to win over the people of the United States? So 1-card pull, me going first. And by the way, there is 2,860 of you here in the chat right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Please be sure, of course, if you're ready, to like and subscribe and share and hype and all that jazz. Thank you. All right, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Ooh,
I noticed 1 card, but 2 came out. Yes.
Look at that. All right. So what do I have here? I, like Lena, I've got temperance. Yeah, I've got the temperance card. And the temperance card, of course, is about what? Balancing things. Yeah, it is about, here you see one of the feet is in the water, the other one is on the land, even though it may not show so clearly. Let me just turn that a little bit more to the side. So here you can see here, in this case, the water between the cups is going up and down, back and forth. So I think what's happening is we're having a recalibration of American politics. I think this is one of the first times genuinely where the alchemy is changing, even though it's not technically third party, which we know is almost impossible to do now in the United States. But this tells me that the Democratic Party itself is going through an alchemical change. Some different kind of perspective is coming in. And again, thank you to Elaine as well for giving me some insider insights. Not all, anyway, I'll leave it there. But there is an alchemical change happening here. And their perspective could potentially change the perspective of the wider US public. So I'd say they have a good chance. I think the more people hear about the policies, the more likely they are to like them. Yeah. David?
Agreed. I get the Sun card. And to me, this is like it's the new thing that's coming out. It's bright, shiny, new. And it's funny because I just did a reading on this, asking if the Democratic Socialists are the new MAGA for the left. In other words, are they the type that can win a primary but can't win the general election? And I think what it's going to be is they're going to gain momentum over time. And it's going to be, again, young people getting behind this and pushing this forward. It's almost like the progressives are going to be the party of young people. And they're going to have a lot of energy, and they're going to have a lot of ideals in a world that does not give them much hope. They're going to create their own. So, yes.
Fabulous. Yeah.
Fabulous. Wow. Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, you've explained very well the temperance card here, but also the world came out because I think this is a global issue. As the far right grows everywhere, there comes an end cycle where people realize that they actually don't have policies that will help them. They've got nasty policies that just push people out of your sight line, but nothing to actually make your life better. So this is a global issue. We've got to stop the hysteria around socialism and be able to distinguish between the different forms. And I would just quickly point out, during the Great Depression and FDR and everything, he was condemned as being a socialist and a communist and a traitor to his class. And he was pilloried from coast to coast. And then he ignored it and brought in the New Deal. This is the point. There needs to be visionary leaders who can just jump over all that and go, well, let's just put it in and see how it works, shall we, pet? Because this isn't working. Yeah.
Indeed. And of course, FDR famously went on to become the president 4 times. They would barely let the guy leave because he became so
people
popular.
Forget that he was so reviled. He got zero support from the capitalist class, and they invested in huge media to condemn him. Yeah.
Wow. Fascinating. Sheila, what do you have for us?
Well, I got the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is the professionalism, government, and the intelligence and stuff like that, the authority and the power. I think between New York and now Colorado literally ousted a person in 30 years. It was an incumbent of 30 years, got ousted in the primary of the won. So we actually did 2 of them in Colorado. So the momentum is going, and they're between New York and Colorado. We're showing them where our interest is. We're showing them that we're tired of you guys working with these fools. We do not work with criminals, and we're tired of you doing that. And so we're kind of on that progressive side. So I think that the intelligence and they're being sought after because we already seen results in New York. The intelligence of it, the emotional intelligence. We haven't had an emotionally intelligent person in politics for quite some time.
Yeah.
And that I think is what they're bringing to the table, is not only the figuring it out, but the emotional intelligence is on the table and on the ballot at this point in time. So I think that it's going to grow. I really do. And I'm glad that it's my party that's doing it, to be honest with you. I'm proud of that. Very proud that we're switching and changing it up, and we're using our vote as a voice to our future, and I think that's great. So
yeah.
Wow. Excellent. Thanks so much. And so interesting, isn't it? The cards, how they just all kind of came together and said, basically, they stand a really good chance because the electorate is receptive, like how we were reading before. And that's why, even though I accidentally read out the question that I was going to have after this before, I actually segued in nicely because of all of the tumult. People are like, we need something different. So this question's coming from April Carlisle, and I've got something to add, and I'm going to modify the question a little bit. So April Carlisle asked, she said, it's always helpful to check to see what's happening with Donald Trump's health, since it keeps getting worse, and to ask how much longer will he be president, because we keep thinking he'll be gone soon, but he's still here. So what I did was I wrote back to April, and I wrote quite a long message. And as you know, I've been preaching for a little while. We have to de-invest from constantly fantasizing and wishing and urging Trump to be dead. Look, we all know he is the most anticipated obituary in all of history. We know this. We know that people have their champagne and their Prosecco on ice for that moment. But I think we also have to also be realistic about the legacy that remains, whether he's alive or not. All of these laws that are being passed, etc., we need to kind of look beyond that. And this is going to be a long slog, guys. Even if he were to cark it on the absolute lectern right now, the Trumpocalypse, do you remember I had to invent that word? Trumpocalypse is gonna last for a while. So here's an interesting one. Let me know what you think of this, folks. We're going to do a 1-card pull. And this time it'll be David going first. And then what I've asked here is, so we know that, and plus we're all reading on it all the time anyway, and sometimes I just like to take a little break, but I do thank you, April, for your question. But what I want to ask is this: what are we all learning from Trump's presidency? What are we all learning? What are we being taught by Duck Larange? 1-card pull. David going first, and then we'll close the show. What are we learning? What are we being taught by Duck Larange? Hideous creature as he is. Right. All right. After 3, let me plug in my laptop 1 minute. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
All right, David. What do you have? Oh, this is fascinating. David, what do you have?
The one thing I learned about the current president is his ability to divide people, but his division ends up uniting people. Because when you've created too much division, the collective starts to form as a resistance to what he's doing. And right now we're going to be in the very nascent stages, and it's going to be quite the process to overcome that. But to me, that's the lesson to be learned: is try as you may to divide people. It's almost like sifting sand through a sifter or a sieve. Eventually, you get some boulders in the sieve, but all the stuff that you force through all is more homogeneous than ever before in the pile underneath.
Fascinating. Thank you. That's a brilliant insight. Lena, how do you interpret your card? Thank you, David. Lena.
Well, I was thrilled to see the judgment card come out in the context of this question. What have we learned from the Trump thing? He's been the trumpeter who was so extreme, so vile. I'm talking in the past tense. That's good. He was good. Waking people up. That has been his role. And I think waking people up to our connections to each other and about exercising our own judgment when we go to the polling booth as opposed to being told how to vote. So big picture stuff here with this card. So I'm thrilled to see it. People waking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thanks so much, Lena. And Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Well, the first card that came out and the one that dropped after it, okay? So the first one that card came out says, light the darkness. It says, darkness cannot dispel darkness. Only the light can. So what have we learned? We have learned that, you know, we have to all collectively, and it says, journey inward. And I tell you, if I had a personal, somebody asked me, what did I learn? I literally have went inward and really examined my own, you know, like taught racism. Where am I at? Where am I at in all of this? What am I doing? And how have I, you know, can I collectively come up and out of all of the crap that I was taught when I was a child or whatever? Because systemic racism is true, and it's something that, you know, white children get taught. They really do. And so I also had to examine within. I had to examine within, where do I stand? I had to examine within, you know, everything that he has done. Where do I stand ethically with all that is happening? And that was a really, an extensive journey, but it was also something enlightenment, because I used to be able to be quiet about my morality, but now I have the power and the confidence to speak up. If I see it somewhere, I'm like, have a Karen in front of me trying to mess with somebody. Let a Karen be in front of me, because I know that I'm going to stand up for that person she's trying to terrorize. I know that I'm going to say something. I know that I will not allow another, you know, racist mark past my face again without saying something. And I thought that was really something interesting about myself in my own journey, having that confidence to go, not in front of me, not in front of me. So.
Fascinating. See, I knew this would be juicy, folks. I was like,
great
question. It knew it'd be juicy. Thank you. Here, what do I have? I've got what would seem to be a quite humble card, but actually I think it's actually saying a lot. I've got the Two of Swords. Now, we all know twos are all about what? Choices. Choices. If there is one thing that I would say that Degrasse has taught the whole world, and particularly democracy, is that your choices matter.
Yes.
Your choices matter. We live in a world of free will. How you choose will decide your future, but also the future of your family and even the whole planet. Here, yeah, look, we see here the person here not wanting to arrive at a decision, but you see, here's the blindfold. Yeah, here's the blindfold. Ignoring the glaring failures of a person, ignoring the criminality, the sex crimes. I mean, I could just go on. Too many people were willfully blind.
Yes.
What was obvious to everyone.
None so blind.
No evil, speak no evil, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to sign that way anyway because my family has, or blah, 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 or I don't want to be left out, this, that, and the other. And it has a massive consequence. If anything, I would love to tear this blindfold off, actually, and just draw two big eyes on there.
Yeah.
Because this is now, you know, this is now about, we literally, if I do it like this. Yeah. This is about tearing that blindfold off, because we all have to choose consciously going forward, because we don't only have a responsibility for ourselves, we have a responsibility for other people, and not just other people in our community and our country, but the whole world. Trump's election has affected the whole world. The whole world is in uproar about this because of we didn't get a chance to vote. Me having a little rant here, but we did not get a chance to cast our vote on Degrasse. The whole world could see it was insane. And again, present company excluded. I'm just saying that people are now realizing the power of choice and how important it is that we take our choices and responsibilities seriously. So I think that's a big part of his legacy. Anyway,
can I say one more thing before we go? Because I'm inspired by a comment from a viewer, and she lives around MAGA. So she's got MAGA family, MAGA neighbours, MAGA work colleagues. And so she's been torn for years between taking them on and ignoring them. And, you know, she's tried every tactic. But she's come up with something that she's using at the moment, and she's doing an experiment on it. So with the MAGA, she says now, you deserve better than this.
Oh, beautiful.
It takes the floor out from under them. Isn't that so? I want to share that with the wider community.
Very clever.
It's really clever. Leaves them nowhere to go.
Yeah,
and it might make them think.
Yeah, I think it's
in a
very
way
clever.
that screaming at them doesn't, you know.
Exactly, because if they've got the blindfold on,
that's what made me think.
Yeah, and because you see, the thing is, what's interesting is, with the Two of Swords, she's got the blindfold on, but she's not deaf. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
She's not deaf. Yeah, she might be choosing not to see, but when we change our language and like not giving these people the battle wars that they want to have, or the energy that they want to have, and when she says to them, you know, you deserve better than this, they can't even argue back, because we all know it's true. And that, in a way, is even more impactful, isn't it? It bypasses the blindfold.
Genius. So that's my gift today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, as folks, as you could well realize, we have gone over as usual, but that was a fascinating read. I hope all of you guys enjoyed the show. We had almost 3,000 of you here joining us live. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Like and subscribe, share, all of that jazz. We will be back next time, of course. And thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, David, for being back. Lena, and of course, Sheila. And we will all see you soon. Big love, and keep going, folks. Keep going. Bye-bye for now.
Cheers.
Take care.